Hey everybody, welcome to Devi's AI Lab series where we will talk about foundational things. Again, I look at this as a way to share everything that I've learned because in learning you teach and in teaching you learn. Let's get started. This is the first video where we will be talking about Python, and my goal with these videos is to keep everything super short, concise, straightforward, with the right amount of theory and hands-on practice. So yeah, let's get started. Hey everybody, so this is just a quick walkthrough of what you can expect from this Google Colab notebook. It's meant to be a starter kit to just understand how Python works. I've covered 8 topics here, and the suggestion is for you to just click through all of these and understand what these 8 topics talk about. So I'll give you a quick overview. So we get started with data types. So there are 2 different types of data types. The first one is primitive data type, which these are the ones that we most commonly hear about. So it's integer, float, string, boolean. And then we have compound collection data types. This includes lists, dictionaries, and nested dictionaries. These compound data types in particular are important when it comes to API. So I've also included list, what a list looks like, and what dictionaries look like. The key thing here is that dictionaries are nothing but key value pairs. So I'll give you an example here. So if you look at this dictionary, it has curly braces, and it stores a key and a respective value. So the key name here stores the value Alice, and the key age here stores the age, which is 25. And one other key difference between list and key value pairs dictionary is that lists you use square braces, and lists are often ordered, whereas dictionaries, they are unordered collection of key value pairs. And I'd say nested dictionary in particular will need just a couple of extra minutes more to understand how to retrieve values. And like I said, this is where the API piece will be important. So just click through this and understand how the print statements work. So moving on to the second part, which is variables. Variables are used to store data, and we already saw variables as part of data types there. So here x is the variable that holds an integer data type, and y is the variable that holds a float data type. So yeah, you could say that variables, data types, they go hand in hand. So we'll move on to the next one here, which is scripts. So script is a file that contains Python code, and when you execute a script, you're able to perform tasks. So the thing that you need to understand is a script is a .py file. So loops and conditions. So the thing about loops and conditions is that it will allow you to execute a block of code for n number of times, and you can also place specific conditions that let you execute code based on specific criteria. I've given an example for while, for, and if else loop along with outputs. So just play through it to understand the difference. The fifth part is functions. Functions, they are nothing but reusable blocks of code that can perform specific task. They always begin with the def keyword. So here, this is an example of a function which, when called, so this is called greet, and when you call that particular function, it'll return the hello name. So you needn't, it's all about efficiency. You don't want to write a couple of blocks of code again and again to execute a task. So you just do it once, and then you use a function to call how much ever lines that you need to execute for that particular task. It all helps with being efficient. So that's functions. And then comes libraries, part 6. So libraries are collections of pre-written code that you can use to perform tasks without writing code from scratch. So this is the whole beauty of open source. You have so many amazing libraries, and 2024 is an amazing time to learn Python. So here we're going to explore a whole bunch of libraries in the upcoming sessions. For now, I've given a super simple math library which helps us find the square root. So you needn't, come up with any logic conditions. You just call, math dot square root, and then you give your number, you get the output. It's as simple as that, thanks to this math library which does all the heavy lifting. Seventh part is pip. So pip is a package manager for installing and managing all the amazing Python libraries that are available to us. And the way you install these libraries is pip install and the library names. So here I've just given an example of installing a library called requests. The eighth and final part is a virtual environment. So Venv is a super useful tool that helps you create isolated Python environments. Now, this is important when you're working on your local system, because for every project, there's going to be a specific set of requirements, and tech is all about things getting updated and everything is moving at a very fast pace. So having a separate virtual environment gives you an isolated Python environment for each of your projects, so that it doesn't get all these dependencies don't clash with each other. So that's a simple concept behind virtual environment. It's a really good practice to make sure that you create virtual environments for your unique projects. Another keynote is that since Google Colab, it's all up in the cloud, so it already provides you a managed and isolated environment for each notebook that you work with. So this is something that is not needed when you're working with a cloud environment like Google Colab. So yeah, that was a quick rundown of this starter kit. I will see you in a bit, where we will talk about how to run a very simple Python script. And for this, again, I wanted to play around with code spaces. Code spaces is something that is available free of cost, and it comes with GitHub. So I think they give you around 66 hours free for individual users, which is awesome. So I thought I would play around with it. So what we're going to do in this particular program is that I will get it started. Setting things up. So I think in the interim, I'll tell you what this sample Python game is all about. So the game will select a random fruit from a list. Okay, we'll define the list. So with square brackets, we'll define a list has a bunch of fruit names, and the player will input their guess. It'll be one of those fruit names, and then if the guess is correct, the player wins. But if the guess is incorrect, the game will keep telling the player whether the correct fruit comes earlier or later in alphabetical order. This is a very simple program, and the only reason I wanted to include it here is just to show you how we use everything that we've learned so far. So let's run this Python file, and this is what we get as our output. Let me expand the terminal a little bit. So the file is executed, and it asks, can you guess the fruit I'm thinking of? I'm gonna try cherry. So it says the fruit comes later in the alphabet. So I will try grape. It says later. So then we have mango. Congratulations, you guessed the fruit in 3 attempts. And congratulations to you. We just ran our first simple Python program that makes use of lists and loops, conditions. So yeah, I'll see you around in another video.